SpiritHalloween.com is an e-commerce website that sells Halloween and holiday costumes. During my evaluation of this website, the top 5 usability flaws that I found were navigation and information architecture, screen real estate, highest priority task, link proximity, and consistency. Before I dive into what was wrong with these usability guidelines, what methods were used? I put an online web survey out to fellow friends, peers, and adults that use the website and asked them a series of questions related to errors they had while using the website, as well as the efficiency of certain features. They also had an input box where they could write their own comments about different aspects of the website. I also had 6 participants use the website while in front of me for an average of around 10 minutes with specific prompts. At the end, I also did my own heuristic evaluation, applying user experience and human factor guidelines, as well as principles from engineering psychology. For the use case prompts, 6 participants were given 2 prompts each. There were 4 prompts that I cycled, and each participant had 1 buy prompt, where the ultimate goal was to buy something and check out, and one of the prompts was a browse prompt, where all they had to do was browse using the website, find some products, but not go through the checkout process. The talk aloud protocol was used, so they spoke out what they were doing, but did not explain why they were doing. So to start with navigation and information architecture, the first of our usability flaws. This is the main problem on the website. There is such a breadth and depth of product. The problem is the navigation paradigm and sitemap of this website is about 15 years behind current trends and is extremely simplistic for how much product there is. There is an extreme poly-hierarchy where a lot of the costume categories easily overlap, so users get flustered and don't know which exact category to go to if they have a costume in mind. This also goes back to the fact that the buttons on the main homepage are not goal-based and are dwarfed by the demographic categories rather than emphasizing the shop by theme or the costume finder on the website. The costume finder is dwarfed, and most people are just led to the adult, children, men and women's costumes, and then have to go 5-6 clicks deep when they shouldn't have to go that far. The breadth of the costume categories clearly goes against the 7 ± 2 principle of human memory capability. The second usability flaw is in the balance of screen real estate. SpiritHalloween.com has many pages with huge blank spaces, and the home page especially is covered with about 90% of promotional material. The navigation and goal-based links and directional cues are covered up by tons of images and advertisements, but users are already on the site. Why do they need to see all that? On the individual product pages, the product reviews and product recommendations that both browsers and buyers reported as a good feature when they saw them is below the fold, which wouldn't be a problem if there was a queue to go down there, but there's a huge bit of white space underneath the products, and more than half of the people on the survey and the participants in the use case scenarios did not see this feature. The mouse hover over feature on a costume also blocks product info. So if you want to zoom in on the costume and read about the product info at the same time, you cannot do that. Highest priority task was the next problem with the website. And highest priority task is when users are queued to what should be their prime directive when they get to the website. As I mentioned earlier, the adult costumes, kid costumes, and some of the other buttons are the more easily queued, but doesn't make sense when somebody already has an idea of the costume they want, the type of costume, or even the exact costume, or they have details of a costume they want. The costume finder is hidden at the very, very bottom of the screen, and not one participant in the survey reported using it. The shop by theme and shop by brands, as well as the search bar, are also squished among lots of other links. SpiritHalloween.com and its customers would benefit greatly from defining the costume wizard or the shop by theme as its main highest priority task. Consistency was a huge issue with SpiritHalloween.com in regards to the buttons, links, and title page lines on its web pages. The bottom footer on the web page also contains yellow links, and a lot of the following links are yellow, but the main topic links all change a lot, like so. These are about 75% of the different ways that links, categories, and costume types are displayed to a user, and it's easy to understand why people might just get bored of the site or confused and give up. Link proximity. The link proximity connects to the navigation and information architecture of the website. Because the navigation and information architecture is so simple and so bloated, on some of the demographic categories and theme categories, you have 20 different costume breakdowns, and all of them are squished tight together. And once again, going back to screen real estate, there's a lot more room for these to expand, to use a tree system, or just make these links bigger and a bit more spaced out. Fitts' law is a model of human movement, and the time required to rapidly move to a target is dependent on the distance to the target and the size of the target. Now, even though these are really close, because we know that users scan information on a web page, they'll scan these quickly and most likely will miss what they're looking for the first time around. Bottom line, SpiritHalloween.com suffers from oversimplicity when it needs complexity, and complexity when it has a front-end display of a huge amount of overlapping categories in its navigation and information architecture. It may seem like a small list, but the list carries big weight, and what this website needs is a complete overhaul of its structure and its graphical interface.